Hello, Wolfpack. We're here. Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the topic of analysis. It will be possibly for the next few days. I don't want to look into too many altcoins at the moment because I'm not particularly on board with the idea of altcoin buying in the current state of the market. But I'm looking into Bitcoin, and I can give you guys a kind of answer as to where altcoin buying will be acceptable to me as well. Essentially, this video is looking at the potential opportunity for a second wave here. And also for a bit of a recovery at what price point we're looking to recover on Bitcoin. We're on the short-term chart currently. We have lots of charts up today going over the good and the bad as well for what is going on. And just to preface, I'm still bullish on the market. I'm still bullish on the market. Nothing has happened yet. I will say yet because it could very well happen. That would say to me that we're performing in any way that's not normal in September. The only thing that's kind of happened in the global kind of whole worldwide situation, and probably why we've seen this second test of the 20-week. Because if you guys remember, we tested it last week, so second test wasn't completely necessary. It's not a bad thing. It's happened before, but what happened was the Evergrande situation in China, in which the Chinese economy is basically built in kind of a house of cards, and there was fears of that crumbling down, but it's been cleared up, guys. It's been cleared up. Evergrande went live and released a statement. I think only a few hours ago that they said that they're going to be able to make the payments for this month. I don't know if that's because they're being helped by the Chinese government, but they're making the payments tomorrow, and they're due on Thursday. So that's Australian dates, by the way. Might be different for you guys in the US. I know I have a lot of US viewers, but basically they're making the payments in time. They announced that. So we're just waiting for confirmation on that. They said they would, so let's hope they do. And if they do, that should be the trigger of a rally away from this bull market support band and back up, which would be great to see. So that FUD is being cleared up, guys. And that's very important because if the Chinese economy crashed, crypto would crash, Bitcoin would crash. Doesn't matter what the state of the market is, doesn't matter what the TA is like, doesn't matter how bullish I am. Crypto's going to crash if the Chinese economy crashes. That's just how it works, at least in the short term. But look, that doesn't seem to be happening. That's not going to seem to be the case right now. But we do have some immediate problems in the short term we need to be addressing on Bitcoin. We can see, we're going to remove all of these indicators. We can see what's happened on Bitcoin. Sorry guys, I'm just a little bit sick as well, so bear with me. We can see what's happening on Bitcoin is we have this kind of lower highs and lower lows being formed in which we're heading down and we're grinding down. The good part about this is that grinding down price action is generally pretty bullish because grinding down resembles descending wedges on most occasions. It also resembles the fact that the selling pressure is not enough, in comparison to the buying pressure for us to just drop in a steep slope like we saw for this entire move downwards. We're kind of seeing a bit of support come through from the bulls, which is great to see. And you can see we had this downward slope here last week, and then it led to a rally because eventually the bears will give up trying to push the price down. If there's too much support like there was here, the bears will give up. Now, this is a bit of a steeper slope, and we do want to be seeing this kind of cut off quite quickly here because we're approaching our danger zone. All right, and my danger zone, I'll extend a little bit. For me personally, the danger zone on Bitcoin is 38k to 40k. That is the danger zone on Bitcoin that I'm looking at. If we drop below that zone, I'm not going to be very confident. In at least for the next few months. I think that if we drop below that zone, we could be seeing something we saw in the May capitulation, where we just have 3 months of consolidation below the bull market support band. But I really don't want to be seeing a drop into that zone, a sustained drop, and particularly below it as well. Wicks like this, 1 hourly wicks, that's fine. That's fine, because that's just driven by liquidations. It's not actually rational price action. It gets bought up very quickly. As you can see, we had a knife formation here, bullish knife, when this happened, which means that basically we wicked down very quickly, and there was an abundance of buying pressure that sent us way back up. So we're seeing a rally right now, and I think the target for short term, and I'll bring up the SMAs here, because this the pink line here, the 26 SMA, has been acting as a bit of a pain for Bitcoin. You can see it rejected us over here in the last rally up to the 33k region. And it's kind of rejecting us again here. So we really want to see the price, jump above the 26 SMA, potentially kind of reach a little bit of a, semi-bottom here at 42.5k, and then move up to 44k, sorry. Moving up to 44k, what it will do is it would confirm a higher high, not only from this region, but it would also confirm a higher high on top of this region, because we acted at 44k. We tried to break through here on September 21st. We tried to break through 44k on the way down. We failed, and we dropped down further. So we want to be seeing a break above 44k and flipping it, and then continuing upwards. And at that point, only at that point, 44k, only at that point will I be looking to buy the dip. Because I think buying the dip in the current region, unless you're buying Bitcoin is always good. I don't care what price it is. It's always good to buy Bitcoin. It's especially good to buy any drop. Right now, perfect time to buy Bitcoin. Go ahead, buy Bitcoin. But in terms of altcoins, you don't want to be too, trigger happy with altcoins, because if it does continue to drop down here, drops below our danger zone, we're looking at like 20-30% drops for altcoins, even further. Even if we only go to 30k, it's like a 30% drop for altcoins, even more, maybe 40, so be cautious. That's just the topic of like what I want to say. This, just be cautious. There's no need to rush into the market right now. There's a lot of people on Twitter who say you need to buy your dip at exactly 40k, buy it right now, buy. Guys, is it really going to hurt? Is it really going to hurt you guys to wait 5%? Wait for a 5% gain before buying the dip. Alright, instead of buying it now. Alright, well, let's go over the pros and cons. If you buy it now, you get in lower. Okay, cool. Alright, let's go over the pros of buying it 5% higher. If you buy it 5% higher, you can be pretty damn certain it's going to go up. If you buy it now, it's a bit of a coin toss, right? I know we haven't invalidated the cyclical theory yet, but I always suggest being a little bit safer. If you are going to buy now, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you I haven't bought now, like I've bought, like I'm buying in, but I'm buying small amounts, and I'm waiting for the confirmation of 44k to buy a larger amount. And even on a larger scale, a very larger scale, I'm actually waiting for a break of this region here at around 48.3k, flipping this zone here, because we had some sort of double top and headed down. So I'd be waiting for 44k for a decent amount of buying in, and then for my more risky bags, so like potentially 44k, I'd be looking to buy into like Bitcoin Cash, EOS, coins that are really high on market cap that aren't going to go anywhere even in the event of a bear market, which is an unlikely event. We're not actually, I don't think we're going to go into a bear market here, but you have to be cautious about it, because the last thing you want is to buy into a coin 10% lower than you normally would, and risk holding a bag for 3 years if it's in the negative. No one wants to do that. So I think that considering the gains we will have if we're going to go to 100k, we're going to go to, say we're going to go 100k Bitcoin by the end of the year, or like by Q1, if you're taking into effect the lengthening cycles theory. So like start of 2022, right? Altcoins are going to 10x from this position, right? Do you really need to get in 10% lower when it's 10xing? It comes to a point where, you're making enough money for it not to matter. And I think you need to be focusing on the security of it, because cryptocurrency is a very, very risky asset class, right? You can say all you want. It's very, very risky. It's not very well proven. It's only been around for a little bit over a decade. And in terms of massive, institutional investments, that's only really been around for like a year now, right? So it's very new. I think you should be taking a conservative approach to what is already a very risky asset class, because even when you're taking conservative approaches, you're still taking massive risk, right? But I'm not saying it's bad risk. I wouldn't be running a YouTube channel about crypto if I thought it was bad risk. It's great. I 100% believe in a crypto future, but I don't see the point of buying in now instead of waiting for a 5% gain before buying in and being certain that it's going to go up. It doesn't really make sense to me. Buy small amounts for sure, as I said. Buy Bitcoin for sure, because that's not going anywhere. But altcoins, I'd be waiting for 44k, or if you're very, very conservative, 48k is the ultimate continuation zone. And from that region, if you think 48k is too high, well, from that region, we're probably going to hit 5x's, 10x's from altcoins anyway, so it's not actually too high. But, at the end of the day, you guys can do what you want. That's my game plan. So 44k, regardless of what you think about buying, regardless of all of that, 44k is the zone we want to reach for Bitcoin in order to see upwards movements, because once we flip 44k, we flip this entire downwards region, and then we can start making some, bouncing around, start making some higher highs, into October and get us in a good position. Now, I want to go over some things. I went over this chart yesterday on my last video. I want to go over the good and the bad for Bitcoin. This is the good, all right? This is what I'm thinking, okay? Because we're following the cyclical theory. Nothing that has happened in the last few days has invalidated any of my price predictions, any of my theories for what would happen in September. I said in September, all right? You remember this. I said in September, all right? And I said this about 2 months ago. I said, guys, in September, we are going to come back down and retest this bull market support band, which is this orange band. I said that, way down here in the late 30Ks, and I was saying it up at 52K as well. I've been saying it the whole time. We're going to come back down and test this bull market support band, all right? We're seeing a test right now. We haven't dropped below it. We're still, we did a wick below it, but hey, look, we've done wicks below in the past. Let's find a wick below the bull market support band that we held. Let's find one. All right, we found one here. All right, March 2017, we wicked below it. July 2016, we wicked below it. Right, we held it both those times. It's not abnormal for wicks below the bull market support band. That's not something we should be freaking out over. What we should be freaking out over is if we come here in 4 days from now, which is when the weekly candle closed, and we close below the bull market support band at like 38K or something like that. That's a problem, because that proves it's actually been broken. All right, wicks don't mean anything. Wicks are just panics. All right, they don't mean anything. No one, in the words of Benjamin Cohen, no one's going to get out of bed for a wick. No one. All right, so don't take wicks too seriously. They don't really matter. They get brought up so quickly. If you actually look at how much time we've spent below the bull market support band, we wicked below it. That wick probably lasts like 30 seconds. That wick probably was brought up in about 30 seconds. Don't worry about it. All right. So right now, as I was saying, there's no reason for me to believe that we shouldn't be seeing a bullish Q4, because everything is going in line with what it's done. These ticks and crosses I have down the bottom here, these pink ticks and crosses, these represent the amount of times we've retested the bull market support band in September each year. So you can see 8 out of the 9 last Septembers, we've retested the bull market support band before, most of the time heading higher in Q4. So we're just seeing that. We're seeing that right now. Nothing abnormal is happening. The abnormalities will start happening. The things that are different to what is usual start happening if we close below the bull market support band on the weekly chart in 4 days. That's when you need to be concerned. Right now, it's just I'm being dead set serious. This is normal price action for September. Yes, we had a Black Swan event. With the Chinese news. That is being cleared up. Realistically, this would be a nice place for a bounce. Realistically, based off the cyclical theory. This is not a price prediction. This is not me telling you to do anything. But based off the cyclical theory, making an observation of what has happened in the past, this is a great place to buy. This is a great place to buy before the Q4 run-up. Each time we saw this in both 2013 and 2017 here, we wicked down, we touched the bull market support band, and then we pumped up for a bullish Q4. There's no reason for me to be expecting anything else until proven otherwise by a weekly close below that zone. So I'm still bullish. My price prediction still holds. I'm still very bullish. My price prediction, by the way, I said it yesterday as well. I'm making a finalized price prediction when we see October begin. So on the 1st of October, I'll finalize this price prediction. It just is based off of what happens at the end of September. The whole price model is based off what the actual price of Bitcoin is at the end of September. So say it's 176% up in Q4. That's my price prediction, right? So say we end September and we close at 56K, right? Which is just, it's not going to happen, okay? It's just an example. 56K is not going to happen. Then my price prediction will be 156K. All right, say we close September and we end up at 36K, which, seems like it's not going to happen either, but, it could, who knows? Then we'll end up somewhere around, I can't get it perfectly, somewhere around 100K. All right, so it's very volatile as of current, but at the end of September, the first day of October, you can come back to me. I'll release a video of my finalized price prediction for this bull cycle. And this is assuming the 4-year cycle theory is what happens here. Now, the price prediction won't change, but the length of time it takes to reach that price prediction might change, because we are seeing lengthening cycles. It's just a matter by like how much, right? So I've said 27th of December based off the 4-year cycle theory. Realistically, it could go later, could be earlier, who knows? The fact is the price prediction is there, and I'm obviously going to keep you guys informed of to what I think. I'm not just going to blindly stick by my price prediction and, not sell anything until it reaches that point, because that's how you lose money. I feel like there's a bit of a trend in the cryptocurrency space where people kind of hate on YouTubers and, Twitter accounts and stuff like that for changing their price predictions. It's like, what are we meant to do? What am I meant to do? If I see new data that is conflicting with my old data, and am I just going to ignore it? No. You can change your price prediction. It's ridiculous to assume that you can't. All right, that's how you lose money. You need to be adapting to the situation. All right. I think what is ridiculous is saying I'm bullish, I'm bearish, I'm bullish, I'm bearish every 3 days. Right. That's a different story. I've maintained that I'm bullish. I've been bullish since September last year. I haven't actually had this Wolves of Crypto for that long, but I have. And, I've been saying it since 52k and since 30k that we're going to come back over to bull market support band, we're going to come down, flip it, and then head up, right? I'm still bullish. I'm still holding that point of view, right? My end of cycle price prediction is subject to change based on the data, all right? But yeah, this is good news. So I said we're getting into the good news. This is one of the charts that is good news for Bitcoin. If we head into another chart that is good news for Bitcoin in the short term, is the fact that this 4-hourly chart is showing me some good signs. Not only is it seeming to be bottoming out and showing some deep wicks that are being brought up quite quickly, similar to what we saw here in January. We saw these deep wicks and they were brought up very, very quickly before heading up higher. What is actually happening as well is the RSI, and that's why I've got it up here. It's the only thing I have up. The RSI, let me zoom out a little bit, is at the lowest, most undervalued place it's been at since last September. Okay? So we have the RSI at about 18 right now on the 4-hour chart. That's the lowest it's been at since last September. And we can look into what was happening in last September. Okay? What were we doing in last September when we saw this RSI match here? We were retesting the bull market support band. Alright, so we're in a very similar position to what we were in last September. What happened after that point? Well, we saw some bouncing around for about a month, and then we headed up parabolically. Alright, so that's good news to me. It shows me that we're very undervalued. We're very, very undervalued on the 4-hourly chart and in general, and we're in a similar position to where we were last September, in which we're retesting that bull market support band while we were undervalued, and it held for support. I don't see us going below this bull market support band. I don't personally think it's going to happen. I think that if the Evergrande FUD, right, the news about Evergrande actually does take down the Chinese economy, I think that that's a black swan event, and I think definitely we'll go below the market support band, but I don't think that natural price action is going to take us down there. I think that it's possible, it's possible. Anything's possible in this market. But I think what is probable is that we follow the cyclical theory. We've done this multiple times over and over again, 8 out of the last 9 times. So yes, there is a chance. There is a chance we could make this the 8 out of 10. But it's not likely, is what I'm saying. And I like to look at probabilities because nothing's certain. Everything is a probability. And the probability is we're going to hold this bull market support band. All right? We'll find out on the weekly close in 4 days. But if we look at the bad news, and there is bad news, and this is why, even though I think it's going to hold, I'm still recommending we be conservative. I'm not going to completely blindside the other side of the argument, because it is valid, all right? It is valid, and we've talked about this fractal so much playing out. You've probably heard about it hundreds of times, about how this whole area here looks very similar to this area here, and hence we're going to be going down to the 30k region again. I'm not going to talk about that. Yes, obviously that is bad news, but it's already playing out. Obviously that is bad news, but I want to bring up something unique because I feel like that's been talked about so much. You can go watch it on my old videos or on other channels for sure. Is we have a bit of a problem on the daily chart in which we've seen this MACD cross completely reject and head to the downside. We're also seeing a long-term RSI resistance block. So if we break upwards, and this is why I'm saying 48k is needed for a full continuation. If we break upwards, we're going to be facing rejections off of this. What we want to be seeing is a break past it, and I think that would be at around 40k, 48k, where we'd be breaking past that point. We can only see though. We have to wait and see what actually happens there. So those are two bearish things. I think the 1-day chart could look a little bit better. I think it could look a little bit better. Realistically, what we do want to be seeing on the 1-day chart is a bullish engulfing candle here, and we want to close above like 43.3k or something, preferably 44k on this current daily candle. That would be bullish engulfing. That would be a trend reversal. We can see we've had trend reversals here. We had a trend reversal back in August here where we had 4 red candles in a row. We had that bullish engulfing candle and we headed upwards from there. If we see a close above like 43.3k or preferably 44, as I said, you can assume that we're probably going to head up from there, which would be a good V-shaped recovery. Now I have one more bad news chart for Bitcoin, and this is the weekly chart. The weekly chart, it's not confirmed yet, but it is something to keep in mind. Basically what this represents is that if we do close, even at current prices, even within this bull market support band, if we close within it or below it, we're going to be seeing a bearish MACD cross on the weekly chart, which is a big deal. It is a big deal seeing a bearish MACD cross on a weekly chart. You don't want to see it. It will lead to, probably a drop down past this whole region here and into the mid 30Ks, in my opinion. So we want to be avoiding that